Good to see you, Olivia. So, not a great big turnout, in fact. Was it a foregone conclusion, do you think?
Well, it was widely predicted that Labour were going to win this by-election with quite a big swing. Of course, there are the usual caveats for by-elections, which is that turnout is often low and that people are prepared to use their vote in a by-election as a protest vote. They know it's not going to change who governs the country, so even if they agree broadly with the Conservatives, they might vote Labour just as a kind of kick-up to Rishi Sunak. But that said, it really is bad news for the Conservatives. This is a 10.5% swing, which, if replicated around the country, would mean 424 seats for Labour and only 138 for the Conservatives. That would be putting us into pretty much unprecedented territory. So the Conservatives know that they really have a battle on their hands now. And what makes it tricky is that there is still a battle going on for the heart of the Conservative Party, whether the Conservative Party going into the next election is going to be a tax-cutting party or the sort of fiscally prudent party that Rishi Sunak seems to be cultivating, where the main goal is to lower inflation and never mind how high taxes are. So this is the question which is going to be buzzing around Conservative MPs' minds in the months ahead. And a result like this is likely to entrench division in the party, if anything, because both sides, both factions, the high tax and the low tax faction, will think, well, my way is the only way to fix this.
Are we making a fair analysis in the sense that isn't there and I'm not saying this is government policy, but isn't there an argument to say that, look, actually the government isn't that conservative at the moment, but they're working under emergency circumstances. There's been chaos for whatever reason. We're trying to balance it all out. Once it's settled, then we can be more conservative in the run-up to an election. Well,
absolutely, and that is the argument that Rishi Sunak, Jeremy Hunt, and let's not forget, they have plenty of supporters both inside the Conservative Parliamentary Party and in the wider Conservative Party. But those on the other side, the Conservative Growth Coalition, as they're styling themselves, this caucus led by Liz Truss and Simon Clarke, with very much growing in number, they believe that in emergency circumstances like this, you have to have serious Conservative policies, essentially that we can't afford, we're in desperate economic state, so you can't afford to keep taxes high. And one good example of this is corporation tax. Of course, if you keep corporation tax high, then there's a danger of businesses moving overseas and that putting a bit of a lid on the amount that we're able to grow. So there are arguments on both sides, and the debate is definitely getting more and more fierce. But one thing we do know is that division within the Conservative Party is definitely not helpful for the Conservatives' election prospects.